Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 447. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is build your audience, build your income. Build your audience, build your income. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, guys, you must understand how to make money. And on today's Black Entrepreneur Blueprint podcast, I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to build your audience and make more money in your business. Now, before we get to today's show, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my latest book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. Also, don't forget, get 3 days free access to BEB Academy. Make sure you go to BEBAcademy.com. It is an online learning portal to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ with all types of online courses, master classes, PDF downloads, and resources to help you launch, build, and grow a successful, sustainable business. 3 days free access, BEBAcademy.com. Also, don't forget to get the show notes. All you need to do, guys, is go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. Go to the website, and at the bottom of every page, there'll be a join us or join the newsletter. Now, every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you get a new BEB newsletter. And in that newsletter, there's show notes and links. So if you're driving right now in the car and you can't write down some of these things I'm going to talk about today, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. If you're working out, lifting weights, running, or whatever, go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com and sign up for the newsletter, which comes out with the show notes. Before we jump into the content, I just want to share one more thing with you guys. I want to make 2023 the year of growth. So I really want you guys to hone in on these principles I'm going to talk about today, and also the principles and the things that I discuss on all the podcasts, because I only want to do impactful shows. And that's something that I made my mind up about the end of last year. What are the content and the topics that I can discuss that are going to move the needle the most and be most impactful for your business? Now, as I do this, guys, if you're an entrepreneur, prospective entrepreneur, please share these episodes with your network via social media, word of mouth, or whatever, because if it's something that you find that's helpful and you have other friends, family members, or associates, or a network of entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs, please share the BEB podcast and the ecosystem with your people. The whole object, guys, is to get in touch with and help inspire as many Black entrepreneurs to success as I can. And that's the whole goal of Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. So make 2023, guys, the year of growth, and really hone in on these principles and other concepts that I talk about to elevate your entrepreneur IQ and to grow your business. Now, let's jump into today's content. And we're talking about build your audience, build your income. Now, the difference between $1 million product launch and $100 product launch is really the size of your audience. And I say this ad nauseum, but I have to remember not everybody has listened to the podcast for a long period of time, or this may be the first time you're listening to the podcast. So I'm sure you probably seen some gurus online talking about they launched a product, an online course or whatever, and it was $1 million product launch. Now, most of these people are not smarter than us, but the one thing that they do understand is the difference between $1 million product launch and $100 product launch is the size of your audience. You see, your success basically is a function of the numbers. So better numbers equal better income. So if you have 100,000 people on your email list or in your audience that you can connect to at any time, and you have a 5% conversion rate, that means you're going to convert 5,000 people. If you have 100 people in your audience on your email database and you have that same 5% conversion, you only convert 5 people. So 5,000 conversions versus 5 conversions. And just say that it's $10 a piece, $50 a piece. You can do the math. So it's not rocket science. It's about understanding and building foundational pieces to your business that are going to allow you to grow your income, and not just your income, but grow the worth of your business, the value of your business. Remember, your biggest asset, guys, is your database. Your biggest asset is your database. So if you have a large database, then you'll be able to generate revenues as long as they're qualified, meaning people that have an interest in your product and or services. Okay, so bear with me today, guys. I'm still getting over this sore throat. This weather's been real crazy. So let me give you some real life examples of the difference between having an audience and not having an audience and what that actually means to you. When I owned my mortgage company, at one point in time, we had about 20 to 25 loan officers. And there was one new loan officer that I really liked. He was a real nice guy, young kid. And I was trying to give him an opportunity to be able to better his financial situation. He was coming from an industry and a job where he really wasn't making a lot of money. But I knew he was a sharp kid. And I knew that given the right opportunity, if he had the right work ethic and followed directions, he could be successful. So this loan officer used to walk around the office with about 1 to 2 files under his arm, going back to our processors, talking to the sales manager. Hey, I'm trying to get these loans closed. And I used to tell him, like, dude, you can't be satisfied or you can't be successful if you only have 1 or 2 loans in your pipeline. Now, versus our top loan officers that at any period of time had anywhere from 15 to 20 loans processing or working in the system. And so this is an example of not having a large enough audience. Okay. So if you're only working with 2 loans and one of them falls out, guess what? You're not going to make that much money because you're only going to be able to close possibly 1 loan. If you have 15 or 20 loans in your pipeline because you have a larger audience you're dealing with, then you're going to be able to take home those $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 checks when you close 10, 12 loans a month or whatever the compensation was. But we had loan officers making 50 and 60 grand a month. Easy. Top loan officers. And so this is the difference between having a big audience and having a small audience. Now, let me give you some other examples of people you probably have heard of before. And I just want to show you the difference between having a big audience and not having a big audience and what it does to your income. So you guys have probably heard of Kylie Jenner. She has a cosmetic cosmetic line out there. Now, I was just doing some research. 2021, I believe, or 2022, I'm not sure. She did $130 million per year in income. Her net worth was $1.5 billion. Now, I just went on her Instagram account and she has over 377 million followers. And she also has a huge email list. Now, once again, don't get it twisted. You don't own that Instagram database. Okay. And I talk about this all the time. And I want to digress real quick. So you want to build a database that you own, where you own the emails. If for some reason Kylie Jenner gets cut off of Instagram and they shut her down, that's 377 million people she's not going to be able to connect with unless she has their email addresses. Okay. Now, I'm sure she's smart enough to understand that when people buy from her cosmetic line, that she obviously has their email address, and I'm sure she's doing a whole lot of marketing on email. So I just wanted to throw that in as a caveat. But you see 130 million per year in income, 1.5 billion net worth, 377 million Instagram followers, and a huge email list. Once again, your income is commensurate based on your audience. Another example is a YouTuber called Mr. Beast. Now, I never really watched him, but this is crazy. He has 126 million YouTube subscribers. I'm going to repeat that. 126 million YouTube subscribers. And he's estimated to be doing, just off of YouTube, $54 million per year in earnings. $54 million. Now, in addition to that, he's created Mr. Beast burgers. He has merchandise. He has all types of other ancillary income. Now, once again, he does not own those YouTube subscribers. God forbid he gets cut down or shut down on YouTube, then he's ass out and he's out of business. Now, I'm pretty sure he's smart enough to be building his database with emails also. And the last example I want to give you guys is of a podcaster named John Lee Dumas, and he has a podcast called Entrepreneur on Fire that he started, I believe, in 2012, and he's doing crazy numbers. He actually puts up an income report. So let me just give you some numbers for 2022. Based on his income report, he's generated $2.27 million. Now, listen to these numbers. Over the lifetime of his podcast, he has over 3,800 episodes and over 136 million downloads over the lifetime of his podcast. Now, I was looking at the income report, and 81% of his income, I believe, last year actually came from sponsorships. So we're talking about being able to generate revenues based on your audience. So when you're selling sponsorships, right, or people are advertising on your podcast or whatever, your YouTube channel, whatever it is, they want to know about the eyeballs. They want to know about the audience. So John Lee Dumas, like I said, has over 136 million lifetime downloads on over 3,800 podcast episodes. Now, it's so funny because, these numbers are crazy. He's one of the top podcasters in the world. Okay. My numbers pale in comparison to that. Now, I'm doing over 100,000 downloads per episode, which is great. But this guy is doing probably 1 million downloads per episode right now. And also what he does is he has a catalog of over 3,800 episodes. He comes out once a day. To me, that's overkill. That's too much. You gotta leave him wanting more, right? So that's the whole philosophy with him. When he came out, he said, there's no podcast that's doing a daily podcast on business. And that was his niche. And so it's obviously paid off to the tune of $2.2 million in 2022. And he has over 136 million lifetime downloads, over 3,800 episodes. So I want you guys to understand this. The correlation between your audience and your income. Okay, that's why today's show is titled Build Your Audience, Build Your Income. So if you don't have that audience that can generate consistent revenues for you, then you're not going to be making money on a consistent basis. And so I'm going to give you 7 tips today to help you build your audience. Once again, if you're in the car, you're working out, you can't write this down, make sure you get the show notes. Go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. At the bottom of every page, it'll say newsletter, sign up, or join us. It's the same thing. And the newsletter comes out every Monday and Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you don't have to worry about writing it down if you get the newsletter. So tip number 1, create pertinent content that speaks to your audience. Create pertinent content that speaks to your audience. And when I say pertinent, I'm talking about quality information or content. I'm not necessarily talking about a lot of junk unless that's what your audience is used to. Okay, so if I came on the podcast next week and I'm talking about cooking, right, instead of entrepreneurship, y'all be like, yo, what's up with Jay, man? What's this dude doing? So number 1, you want to create pertinent content that speaks to your audience. So one example I want to give you guys is this guy on Instagram, and I think his handle is Over the Fire Cooking. And I like to cook and I like to grill out and stuff. So he has an amazing Instagram channel where he has these short 1-minute videos and is showing you how to cook different things. So that's very pertinent. Create pertinent content that speaks to your audience. And I'm a foodie and I like to cook. So I look forward to his posts every time he posts. So that's number one. Number two, know what type of content is natural for you to create. And this is very important, guys. What type of content is natural for you to create? Certain communication styles are more natural to you. So you have audio, video, and written. So there are only 3 types of communication. So for example, if you like to talk, audio may be your way to communicate. You may want to have a podcast. If you like to be on camera, it's video. If you don't like audio or video, guess what? And you're good at writing, then you can write blog posts. You can write books or whatever. But know what type of content is natural for you to create. Okay. It may be a combination of 1 or 2 or all 3. So remember, the highest form of content is video, right? And out of video, you can actually get written because you can have everything transcribed. You can have that video transcribed. And you also have audio, which you can strip out everything else and just leave the audio. So video is the highest form of content that you can create. So you just want to make sure, based on what industry you're in and how your people want to receive the information, you need to make sure that you're using the right medium or mediums. Okay. So understand how your avatar, your target customer, wants to receive information. All right. But like I said, audio, video, written, there's only 3 ways to communicate. And what we're talking about today, guys, is building your audience, build your income. Tip number 3. Be consistent delivering your content on a regular basis. Be consistent delivering your content on a regular basis. Now, anybody who's listened to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint knows every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you get new heat from Jay Jones and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. All right. Basically, I'm consistent every week, 5 a.m. Monday morning Eastern Standard Time. You can bet on a new episode from me and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. And this is episode number 447. So for 447 weeks straight, you've gotten this content. So I'm very consistent about delivering my content. Now, I've talked to a couple of my friends who were talking about starting podcasts, and this is an example. And they were like, oh yeah, I said, what's going to be your frequency? I'll probably do it maybe every 2 weeks or when it hits me. I'm like, yo, stop right there. I said, don't even waste your time, bro. I said, if you're not doing a podcast at least once a week, you're not going to get any traction. People need to know when your podcast is dropping, and they need to be able to expect that. Okay. They need to look forward to that. And so he was like, damn, I didn't realize. I'm like, yeah, bro. You got to be consistent. Every 2 weeks is not consistent enough. That gives you 26 episodes a year. You know, just willy-nilly on the humbug, you drop a podcast. That you can be successful with that here and there, but you need to have that consistency where your audience knows when they can expect new content from you. So that's tip number 3. Be consistent delivering your content on a regular basis. Tip number 4 on building your audience, building your income is identify and solve a problem for your audience. Identify a problem and solve a problem for your audience. Guys, I'm going to tell you, this is the easiest way to grow your audience. If there's an audience that has a problem and you can solve it, be it your video, your audio, or your written content, then this is the simplest thing to do. For example, what happens if you taught entrepreneurs how to write a book to increase their sales? Now, that's a problem. Most people don't know how to write a book, right? So if you're able to teach them that, then you're going to be able to generate revenues and you're going to be able to build an audience. Entrepreneurs that are interested in writing a book to help create sales or further their business. Okay? Identify and solve a problem for your audience. And once you get into that mode, people don't care if you're black, white, red, yellow, green, short, tall, fat, skinny, or whatever. If there's a problem that you can solve for somebody, then guess what? people are going to pay you that money. You just have to be able to identify that problem, and you also are going to have to be able to get into their mind frame and understand what they truly want. So whatever your product or service is the solution to their problem. Oh, you're an entrepreneur and you want to write your first book, but you don't know how? Guess what? I have a great program for that, or I have a coaching business or a consulting business, whatever it is. So identify a problem and solve it for your audience, and you definitely will build a bigger audience and obviously generate revenues and income if that solution obviously solves the problem that they have. And you can use this for anything. So another example is you want to move from your apartment to a new home, your first time home buyer. So, hey, I'm a mortgage guy. Let me help you navigate this whole process of buying your first home. I'm solving that problem, and I'm going to make money doing so. So number 4, identify and solve a problem for your audience. That's really, guys, the easiest way to grow your audience. To me, that is hands down the easiest way. All right. Number 5, help your audience get what they want. Move them from point A to point B. Help your audience get what they want. Move them from point A to point B. And we're talking about building your audience, building your income. So if you want to lose weight, I can move you from point A to point B. If you want to write a book, I can move you from point A to point B. If you want to learn how to make handcrafted earrings, I can move you from point A to point B. Okay. You may want to give them some tips to move them from point A to point B. But what you're selling, guys, is the transformation. Your product or service is just that, a product or service. But what you're really selling is the transformation of being heavy to losing weight to get skinnier. You're selling the transformation of not knowing how to write a book to write a book. Okay. You're selling the transformation of not knowing how to make handcrafted earrings to making handcrafted earrings. So number 5, help your audience get what they want. And you move them from point A to B. Identify where they are. That's A. And B, this is where they want to be. You handle what's in the middle. I'm going to help you move from A to B. And this is the process that we're going to take. And we're talking about building your audience, building your income. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if you help your audience get what they want, then you're really going to be able to build a solid audience and a solid foundation to help grow your income. Tip number 6, create valuable and simple lead magnets to build your audience and get qualified leads. Now, a qualified lead is someone that has an interest in your product and or service. So if I'm selling hearing aids and I'm trying to talk to somebody that has, great hearing, guess what? They're not a qualified lead for me. And so what we want to talk about, guys, is lead magnets. So create valuable and simple lead magnets to build your audience and get qualified leads. A lead magnet is just a piece of content that somebody wants that you present to them, and they'll leave their name, email address, and possibly a text number. So your lead magnet can be something as simple as a video tutorial. It could be a checklist, a cheat sheet. It could be a template. It could be a free consultation. So, for example, if you are a consultant, right? Say you're doing tax preparation or tax consulting, you can give a free consultation. That's a lead magnet. Hey, you're having issues with your taxes. Here's a free 1-hour consultation. Sign up here. That's a lead magnet. Another form of lead magnet, like I said, could be a video tutorial. So say you're a software company. You could actually do a video tutorial of how your software works. That's a lead magnet. Get the free inside tutorial, how to use ABC software, right? Also a checklist, anything that's going to help people, once again, move from point A to point B. Here's a checklist in writing your book. You're going to need this, 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 and this. Also templates. When it comes to book writing, it's funny. I have a template that it's a software that actually lays out your books. So instead of me going to get a typesetter or somebody to lay out my book, this software that I have actually lays it out. So it's a template. So you can give them tips on things. It doesn't matter, but you want to create a valuable and simple lead magnet to build your audience. And I'm not going to get into lead magnets in depth right now. But once again, you've all seen them and you've all probably signed up for some. So, hey, click here or put in your email address and name to get this free checklist on how to build an e-commerce business, or put in your information to watch this video or come to this webinar and training. All of those things are lead magnets. And the whole objective, once again, of a lead magnet is to build the database, which is the audience. Everybody does it. Any company or entrepreneur or business that doesn't have a database, I'm going to be real, guys, y'all don't need to be in business. If you don't have an audience, now, if you're starting, that's one thing. But if you've been in business for any period of time and you don't have an email database, you probably not going to be in business that long. You might make it, with your Instagram followers, Twitter, and all of that good stuff. But God forbid, don't get shut down on any of those social media platforms. You do not own the platform. You own the email databases. You own the phone numbers. So that's why you want to build that audience. You can use and leverage social media, but you want to build your audience of stuff that you own, an asset. You don't own Instagram. Kylie Jenner gets kicked off of IG. There goes her 377 million subscribers. Okay, that she doesn't own that, but I know she's smart enough to have a percentage of those subscribers sign up with some type of email content or whatever that she's having, because she can control the email just like you can. And what we're talking about, guys, is build your audience, build your income. And number 7, last but not least, all your content should be focused on building your email database. I'm going to repeat that. Number 7, all your content should be focused on building your email database. Remember, guys, the money is in the list. That's where the money is. The money is in the list. So, yes, leverage social media, leverage Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever it is. But try to generate and leverage those social media platforms, guys, to be able to get the email addresses. And if you do any text messaging, the phone numbers. What I need you guys to understand is that we're talking about principles here. All right, these are 7 tips, but these are principles that you can use. Remember, guys, over the years, if you're in business for another 5 years, I guarantee you there are going to be other social media platforms that are out there. Y'all remember Vine back in the day, right? Where's that at? Gone. Periscope. Everybody was hot. Oh, you gotta get on Periscope. Periscope pretty much is gone. And these social media platforms are going to come and they're going to go. Some are going to be super popular. When Facebook came out, Facebook was the rage. Now, Facebook is faded out. And the reason Facebook bought Instagram is they wanted to stay relevant, right? They knew Facebook now is an older demographic. It doesn't have the pop or the juice that it used to have. And so just because Instagram is hot now, Twitter and all that stuff, and TikTok obviously is the hottest new thing out there, all of that is going to change. But if you have the email database built up, it doesn't matter. And that's what you guys need to understand. Man, when I talk to you entrepreneurs, I'm telling you the biggest thing is you don't have a big audience. And that audience doesn't have to be 50,000 or 100,000 people in your audience. It could be 1,000 people. It could be 2,000, 5,000, whatever makes sense for you and your business. But if you don't have that, guys, I can guarantee you, you're not going to be able to build and scale and grow consistently. Yes, you may have great months over the holiday or whatever where you're selling like crazy. But then in January, you might not sell, a quarter of what you sold in December. And it's not because your products or services aren't any good. It's because you haven't taken time to build a foundational piece to your business, which is basically your audience. And the importance of having an audience goes across every industry, every type of business. Have you ever had or seen when a singer is going in concert, they put out their tour dates, and then all of a sudden, right before the tour starts, the singer comes down with a laryngitis. Oh, we got to cancel this show or whatever. The reason that a lot of these shows are canceled, trust me, I got friends in the industry, is because they weren't selling the tickets. They would have been in a 10,000 seat auditorium convention center with 2,000 people in there. They don't have the audience. So this thing cuts across all industries. So if you had an audience or have an audience, you're going to make more money. It's a function of the numbers. It's no rocket science. It's no magic potion. It's none of this nonsense. It's a function of the numbers. And when I'm talking to you guys, one-on-ones, I'm doing coaching, people just reaching out to me. The biggest thing, guys, if you don't have an audience, you're not going to make consistent money. You're not going to be able to scale. And there's ways to be able to generate that audience and build a responsive audience. And I'm giving you 7 tips today to do that. Number 1, create pertinent content that speaks to your audience. Number 2, know what type of content is natural for you to create, be it audio, video, written, or a combination. Number 3, be consistent delivering your content. Deliver it on a regular basis. Number 4, identify and solve a problem for your audience. I think that's the easiest way to build an audience. Number 5, help your audience get what they want. Move them from point A to point B. Number 6, you want to create valuable and simple lead magnets to build your audience and get qualified leads. And number 7, all your content should be focused on building your email database. The money is in the list, family. That's where the money is. So if anything, this is the beginning of 2023. If you do not have an email database of customers or prospective customers, that's your audience. It's based on customers, current customers, and prospective customers. If you do not have a database, I'm talking about an email database, that should be the number 1 thing you focus on right now. No audience equals no sales equals no money. All right. You got to have an audience to talk to. You have to have an audience to sell to. You got to have an audience to solve a problem for. And if you don't have that, guys, you're not going to be making any money on a consistent basis. So here's what you need to do immediately. If you do not have a database of your audience, and your audience is comprised of your current customers and prospective customers, the first thing you need to do is go get an email autoresponder. Now, I use ConvertKit.com, but you can use Aweber, you can use MailChimp, whatever you like to use. Now, what you want to do is you want to create lead magnets, something to make people raise their hand and say, yeah, I want this content. I want this video tutorial. I want this ebook. I want this checklist. Make them put in their name and email address, and sometimes, if it makes sense, their phone number. Now you're building that database. Okay, with that database, you can communicate with your audience at any time. Nobody is going to stop you. Okay, Instagram's not going to be able to shut down that email communication, right? Twitter isn't going to be able to shut it down. Facebook, YouTube, whatever. You own those email, that email and that database. That is an asset. Now, once you have that asset, you can direct people to wherever you want to direct them. So you can email somebody and say, hey, I have a live training or webinar going on. Here's the link to that. Oh, hey, I'm doing a flash sale on my new product or service, 30% off. Here's the link. Go to that. Hey, I'm doing a new podcast episode, blah, blah, blah. Here's the link to that. Go to that. So when you own the contact information and you own the database, that's an asset. And I'm going to say it again ad nauseum for those of you who've listened to the podcast for any period of time. When Borders Bookstore went out of business, Barnes & Nobles did not buy their physical stores. They did not buy their inventory. They actually bought their database out of bankruptcy because that database was more valuable than the brick and mortar stores. It was more valuable than the inventory because it was a list of people that buy the same product or services that they sell. That's why the database is so important. When you sell, or if you ever sell your business, if you do not have a database, you're going to be cutting yourself short or selling yourself short. You can sell a business. You literally can sell a database without selling a business. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that. There are list companies out there where you can actually sell your list and earn money. So if you have a supplement, just say it's a weight loss supplement, there are list companies out there that will buy that and they will sell your list and they'll rent it out to other people and you'll make money from that. That's how important and that's how big of an asset a database is. Now, what does that database do for a company that sells supplements? So if I sell a weight loss supplement and I get a database of 10,000 people that bought this other weight loss supplement, guess what? Is that valuable to me? Hell yeah. That's cutting through all the traffic. I don't have to help build my initial database now because I bought a database or rented it. You don't buy it, you actually rent it. You rented that database and now you're marketing to people that have an interest in whatever product or service that you're selling. And in this case, it's a weight loss supplement. That's how big database information is. Amazon. The reason Amazon is a multi-trillion-dollar business is not because of the products that are sold on it. It's the database. So when you go on Amazon, they already know what you like. They got all of your information, your buying habits, your latest stuff. You're going to get stuff that's shot to your email. You're going to get stuff popping up on your computer once you buy stuff from Amazon. It's the database. And if you ever sell on Amazon, what Amazon tells you is this. Guess what? You can sell your products or services here, your products here, but you're going to pay a commission because these are our customers. You're going to pay 15% off the top because we're sharing our customer list with you. I'm selling a supplement. Okay, my supplement sells for $30, right? If I'm doing fulfillment by Amazon, I'm spending about 25%, or they're taking about 25% of that $30, might even be 30% of that $30 because it's their customer list. And they tell you that. So if you sell on Amazon like I do, you don't even get the people's email address that bought your product. That email address is owned by Amazon. So if you want to contact them in your back office, you can send them an email, but it's encrypted. You don't even know what their email address is. That's how important the data is. The money is in the data, family. It's in your list. That's the biggest asset of your business. And if you're running a business, I'm going to say it again. If you're running a business and you don't have a database, you don't need to be in business. Plain and simple. You don't need to be in business because you're not taking this thing serious. When you build a successful, sustainable business, there are foundational principles that you need to put into place that are going to ensure that you're successful. Now, you could be throwing stuff against the wall and something is going to stick. But if you have a database, you can make targeted assessments of what to offer your audience. Your audience is going to tell you what they want. You can take surveys. If things sell well, guess what? You know your audience wants it. If it doesn't sell well, guess what? You know they don't want it. Large companies do this all the time. How many different sneaker lines or sneaker models are discontinued? How many car models are discontinued? They're discontinued because they're not selling well. The data tells them that. Okay? The sales or lack thereof of sales tells them that. So if you're not building a database, guys, you shouldn't even be in business. This is a foundational piece to your success as an entrepreneur. I'm trying to tell you. So make sure that you start building that database today. When you hear this, if you don't have a formalized database, you need to put everything down, shut it all down, and you need to start building that database. Go get your email autoresponder, ConvertKit, Aweber, MailChimp, whatever you want to use, and start creating that mailing email database to build your business. Foundational principles. A lot of times we put the cart before the horse. We just want to get out there and sell something. But let's start building a foundation. Once again, you can't build a skyscraper with a weak ass foundation, right? You can't build something on sand. You need to build it on rock. A skyscraper can't go that high if the foundation isn't in place. Okay? You can go wide. That means throwing stuff on the wall every day, every week, every month and hoping something sticks. Or you can go high by building a great foundation. And a database is the number one piece of the foundation that you need to have. All right, real quick before we close it on out, make sure you guys check out all the resources that I talked about at the beginning of the episode. My latest book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. It is on the BlackEntrepreneurBlueprint.com website. Everything I'm about to tell you is on the website. BEBacademy.com is on the website. Get 3 days free access to the Academy. All of my online courses are on the front page of the website. If you're interested in building a successful e-commerce business, Brand Builder Academy Elite, right on the front page of the website. Also, if you're looking to build a business customized to your talents and your passions, make sure you check out Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. Your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent. The problem is most people cannot monetize it. Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius, the online course, is on the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. If you want to live in your genius, make sure you check out Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. Now, if you want to connect with me, anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Twitter, jjones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is jjones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. LinkedIn, connect with me there, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Clubhouse @IamJJones. Now, don't forget to utilize the new rebranded website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Everything I just told you is on the website. Now, you go to the website, you hit the Learn button, and you'll have a list of all types of different resources that can help you build your business. So if you want to learn about scaling your business, strategy and mindset, e-commerce, marketing, whatever it is, utilize the website. We spend a lot of time and a lot of money being able to rebrand and reconfigure the website. And we want blackentrepreneurblueprint.com to be the resource for Black entrepreneurs worldwide. Now, I say this each and every week, but it's true, guys. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. I appreciate you guys so much. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, the ecosystem, the website. Remember, everything about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint is about community, family. It's about uplifting and elevating your entrepreneur IQ. Remember, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.